Yes, the knowledgeable, qualified, experienced. Yes, openly. How are you this afternoon?
Hi, good afternoon, Vernon. I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Well, I say I'm doing much better. I should start with,
Okay.
I should be doing better than you, so stay there.
Oh, that sounds good. I don't mind. That's a very good
Very,
thing.
very good, I must say. So what's up today, my friend?
All right. I mean, there's a lot going on the travel scene for those
Yes.
people who are, green card holders in the United States and traveling outside the United States. They should be very cautious about doing so, or especially if it is that they have a conditional green card, meaning a green card that has an expiration date of only 2 years or after 2 years. And especially if it is that that person is in removal proceedings or have a court date coming up with an immigration judge, even if they have a temporary or if they have a re-entry permit, it is very wise for them to stay put in the United States. Do not travel. The thing is that if you travel, it's very likely that you will be prohibited from re entering the United States, even though you may be a conditional permanent resident. And
Opal,
even for other
I
people,
don't think I hear well. What did you say? I want to
that
hear
is
that
correct.
again.
That
Let me
is
hear it
correct. So
again.
for people who are legal permanent resident,
Yes.
especially those who have a condition on their permanent resident, meaning they have the green card that's good for 2 years. Maybe it is that they applied to remove the condition and it was denied, and they may have refiled another application just waiting. And in the meanwhile, though, they may have travel authorization to leave and re enter the United States. At this time, I am warning them not to do that. Even though on the paper it might say you're free to travel, do not do it, because we're seeing a trend where people are re-entering the United States as permanent residents or conditional permanent residents, and Customs and Border Patrol is using their discretion and are keeping those people from entering the United States, or if they and asking the people to go ahead and you know refuse to or withdraw, I should say, their admission. And if you refuse to withdraw your admission into or your request for admission to the United States, then they're likely to put you in proceedings and or I should say
Oh,
detain you.
interesting.
But the thing is that so that's why it's wise just to stay put right now. Do not travel. Do not travel. Just stay here until you get all the issues sorted out, until you actually get that green card in hand. It is just not wise. And for even those people who have pending adjustment applications, it's also not wise for you to travel on those re-entry permits, because if they read the disclaimer, it does say that, Customs and Border Patrol reserve the right at that time when you're knocking on the door to enter the United States to see whether or not they should go ahead and approve your entry. So the bottom line is, if you're not a solid green card holder right now, or if there's any issues, or if you're a conditional resident, or you're an adjustment applicant pending, stay put. Even if you have the prior travel authorization or the reentry, my advice is stay put unless it's really, really a life and death situation, and it is more important for you to travel knowing the risk that you might be prohibited from re-entering. So if the risk is so that you're willing to take that risk, then fine. But I would not advise you to travel at this time, and would be my take on that.
Well, Opal, I'm sure you know nothing about country because you're not a country girl. Am I right?
Ah, there we go now. Hey,
But one thing I will tell you, when I was in country and the revivalist woman come out to say, this is a warning. Beware, this is a warning. Well, those who have ears to hear, let them hear.
yeah, because even though there are things that attorneys can do to try and fight Customs and Border Patrol on this
Yes.
to have them get you back in, why it's gonna cost you. It's
Hmm.
gonna cost you so much, and it's no guarantee. So it's wise to just stay put.
And
Just
then
don't travel
everyone
at
come
this
and
time.
find Opal when probably it's too late. Mercy God.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that usually under the Biden administration, it is that if your visiting visa had expired within the last 48 hours, usually they were waiving the interview requirement. So no, now that is now a thing of the past. The Trump administration have done away with that. So now everybody, even if your visa was just expired last week, you're now going to be required to do an interview at the embassy.
That is a very interesting one. But what that will means, you are going to increase the bureaucracy in terms of dealing with this matter.
What was that, Vernon?
With that, now, if you're going to come in to do another interview when your visa's just expired, that is going to increase the workload. That's interesting.
Exactly, because what they were doing is just waiving those interview process because you recently you had a visa, it was recently expired. They would have been able to see your travel pattern and stuff, and so they were just saying, okay, you know what, you had a visa, let's just go ahead and renew it without having you come in person. Now it's going to be I could see a backlog coming on, Vernon, for all those renewals and everybody getting an interview.
Boy, I'll have to make sure that not only do my listeners hear what you have to say today and which they are listening, but I have to make sure that I get this information out. And as we said the last time, that don't wait until it's late. You need to seek professional help. Or your man can't help you. Friend can't help you. Criminal lawyer, no, they're lawyers, go to an immigration lawyer. And if you have a criminal challenge, you need a criminal, or not. I will make that mistake calling the lawyers criminal lawyers and an immigration lawyer. I got it right, Opal. You have to check if I'm learning too, because if I'm not learning, my listeners will not learn also.
You're doing very well, Vernon.
So why don't give him a certificate then?
I
know it catch you that one. So that's about it on the immigration front. But on other matters, I see where there's a report that the president, Mr. President, I wonder who's the president. I get it confused sometimes. Oh, it's Mr. Donald Trump, right? I gather that he's withdrawing. Is it withdrawing? You heard about it? Support for Ukraine?
I did see that, but I'm just been watching and looking at everything that's going on. Yes, I did see that.
Interesting days ahead. We're not into. We just mentioning it by the way, so our listeners can know what is happening. I wonder what will happen when it divides the West, because as far as I know, the other Western countries are still behind Ukraine. Interesting days are ahead, and also Jamaica apparently is now getting prepared for the increase in tariffs, because it is my understanding that if we import things from Canada, some things will come from the United States. They go to Canada, there's value added, if there's increased tariffs, then we are going to also pay for that increased tariff.
That is true. It's going to come right down to the consumers.
What a good thing. Me can't look at banana, although they are just as expensive. But it might be better for us, because up to recently, the price of Irish potato, for example, the imported Irish potato, well, I guess the tariffs would affect that. But if it affects other things, it might be better for us. But, well, we have to just grow what we eat and eat what will grow, and that's what we need to do. But I don't know. I'm wondering what next. But what I do know, that President Trump will only serve one term. But it's not all about President Trump. It's about the party. Will the party change after he departs? Will the party attain state power the next time around? What will it take to change all those things that have come about by executive directions? Well, I don't know, because the changes seem to be so drastic that I'm wondering what it's going to take to go back to where that again, we don't know if it's going to go back.
But we don't even know exactly. We don't know, in the next 4 years who is going to prevail, what party. So we never know.
Don't know at all. What I can tell you is that you might see a new alignment in the world in terms of countries aligning differently, and that could probably end up alienating the United States of America. And what makes the United States of America a superpower Not just the money and the military power, but the influence it has right across the world. It could be, or it could be about to lose that influence. Well, the other countries waiting on the sideline. There's China. There are other things. And by the way, I think I must mention, is Cuba. You know, they have had a long time because of that blockade against Cuba. The
Right.
situation in Cuba is getting very, very rough. I understand that sometimes they don't even have electricity for days. And I don't know, do they allow travel right now? Can Americans travel to Cuba?
And
Most
they
people,
can,
they can.
they
Yes,
can.
yes, yes.
But again, people who are like, if you're visiting Canada, visiting, or if you're a permanent resident, you're wise to really and truly rethink that
We
Cuba
think
trip.
that, right, right.
Correct.
All right, time has slipped by. That's how we can
Oh,
make contact with you openly.
thank you, Vernon. So for Opal Lee, the phone number in Jamaica is 876-854-3599. That's 876-854-3599. In the United States, it's 954-358-2020. That's 954-358-2020. We have offices in Fort Lauderdale, in Lauderhill, and in Jamaica. And our website is www.flowjamlegal.com. That's FLOJAMLEGAL.com. Thanks as always, Vernon. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much, openly. And when you have persons coming on to this program, you know they're reputable people. So they have it. Openly, have a wonderful day. You're listening to Spot On with Vernon David.